Some of you may have seen the video we posted of the bald eagle sighting at Omni. The reason this event warranted a video has to do with what has happened in Omni's past. In 2021, I attended the memorial service weekend of my spiritual father, Jack Taylor. While I was there, I had the great pleasure of getting to spend some time with Pastor Leif Hetland. Over the course of the weekend, Leif told me several stories of how God has used eagle sightings to encourage him and even direct him. So when the weekend was over and I was heading back home, I began to recount all of the things of the weekend and the stories from Leif. And it reminded me that 10 or 11 years ago from that period, we had bald eagles on the Omni property. That next week, I got home and I was heading down to our Florida property. And I remember just coming over the Florida state line and I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I sure would like to see bald eagles back on the Omni property. Well, I arrived at the property, and that particular morning, I spent several hours at the prayer garden. At one point, I saw a shadow of a bird, a large bird coming across the ground. Remembering my prayer, I looked up immediately, and it was a pair of ospreys, not bald eagles. So I finished up there and started heading toward the area of the property that we call Prayer Point. About 70 yards from the point, I looked up, and in the lowest limb of a very large oak tree were two beautiful bald eagles. They let me look at them for about 15 seconds, and then all of a sudden, as if on cue, they just exploded off that limb, went up, and within no time, they were completely out of my sight. So I thought that was really cool, and so I was reading through some journals a week or 10 days ago, and I happened to come upon these stories. So I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I really would like to see the eagles again. That's been over 3 years. So fast forward a few days, and Tommy and I were delivering a tractor down to Omni. So we got the tractor unloaded, got everything we needed to do with that, and then we went closer to the water's edge, and we were doing a few things, and I was kind of up on a hill, and I looked out over the lake about 200 yards at least, and I saw this large bird just screaming right toward Tommy and me. I screamed to Tommy because he was closer to the water's edge than I. A few seconds later, I heard Tommy yell, "It's a bald eagle." Well, that bald eagle, he landed on a tree, high in a tree, just on the water's edge. He stayed there long enough for Tommy to get the aforementioned video, and then he flew away. Well, why is that story important? Why does it matter? It matters because those were kind of just casual prayers. Lord, I would really like to see that. And yet on both occasions, God answered those prayers almost immediately. So I tell you all this just to encourage you. God does answer prayer. He is hearing. If he can hear and bring eagles, then the large prayers, the things you have deep in your heart, certainly he's hearing those, and he has no more problem bringing those to you than bringing eagles to the Omni property. I hope this helps. I hope it encourages you. We love you. Pray for us at Omni. We'll talk to you soon.